Harper Audio presents The Kicking the Bucket List by Cathy Hopkins. Read by Juanita McMahon, Gabrielle Glaister and Anne Dover. Chapter 1. Tuesday, 1st of September. The offices of Wilson Richardson Solicitors were on the first floor in a block on the main road through Chiswick in London. The carpeted stairs smelt musty, and I noted that the reception area on the first floor was in need of a lick of paint. Rose, my neat, petite sister, was already there, not a hair of her dark bob out of place, and still dressed in black, though it was almost 8 weeks since Mum had died. I decided against funereal clothes, and, it being a warm September day, had dressed in grey trousers and a pale green caftan top. We were spared the awkwardness of our meeting, because we barely had time to greet each other or sit before we were ushered into Mr. Richardson's office by a receptionist with blonde hair pulled back severely from her forehead. My youngest sister, Fleur, used to call the style the Dagenham facelift, back in the days when we were still speaking to each other. A tall, bald man with glasses was seated behind a heavy oak desk. "Mr. Richardson," he said. "I'm Rose, and this is Dee. You may have her written down in your papers as Daisy," said Rose. "I am here and can speak for myself," I said. Rose sighed. "Go ahead, then. I was only being helpful. Your two names can be confusing for people." I focused on Mr. Richardson. "I'm Daisy. Dee. Most people call me Dee, but my mother liked to call me Daisy." "As I said," said Rose. "Well, this is a great start," I thought, as the solicitor gestured to 3 chairs that had been placed opposite the desk for the reading of Mum's will. "Please, have a seat," he said. "My sister Fleur will be with us shortly," said Rose as she sat down. "She's always late. She'll be late for her own funeral," I said, then half coughed and cursed myself. As we waited, I felt as if I was back at school and had been called in to see the headmaster. I wanted to get the reading over with and get home. Rose's left foot was twitching, so I reckoned she was feeling the same. She was the most in-control person I had ever known, but that foot gave her away. It always had, as if she wanted to be up, out, and anywhere else. Out and away from me, away from Fleur, I imagined. "I don't know about her life at all anymore," I thought as Rose checked her watch. "I wonder if she's happy. How are she and Hugh getting on? What will she do with her share of the inheritance? And does she need it as badly as I do? Probably not." We already knew that Mum would have left us equal shares of her money. She'd told us all years ago. The house in Hampstead, where we grew up, had belonged to Dad's parents back in the 1950s, and Mum and Dad had inherited it when they died. Victorian, 4-bedroomed and near the heath, it had accumulated in value over the years. Mum did shabby chic before it was trendy, and the house had an old-fashioned charm about it, with original features, fireplaces and wooden floors, so despite being in need of modernisation, the estate agent's word for falling down, and the ancient plumbing and life-endangering electrics, it still went for just over $2 million when Mum sold it and moved to a retirement village. My share would be more than enough to sort out my finances, have a good pension pot, and some to help my daughter Lucy if she needed it. No substitute for having Mum here, though, I thought, as a wave of grief at her loss, still so raw, hit me. We didn't have to wait long. 5 minutes
Sample complete. Ready to continue?